I'm Dr. Craig Primack, and today's question is, very simply, is skipping breakfast good for your health? Over the last several years, something called intermittent fasting has become very popular. One of the versions of intermittent fasting is called time-restricted feeding, where people eat for a window of the day and don't eat for the other part. It starts usually at about 10 hours. So say you start eating at 9 in the morning and you finish by 7 p.m. and it goes down to 6 hours. And the earlier that 6-hour period is, it's been believed to be better, but most people end up doing it usually between 12 noon and 6 p.m. And it could even go as far as 6 hours from 2 in the afternoon till 8 p.m. And so at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, is skipping breakfast good for our health? And so I always want to go and say, what does the data say? A recent study that was published showed that having breakfast after 9:30 in the morning was very metabolically unhealthy. Eating a proper breakfast before 9:30 in the morning leads to an improvement in your metabolic health, an improvement in weight loss, and delays complications that are associated with type 2 diabetes and other metabolic problems like that. Eating breakfast leads to improving what's called our cyclic clock gene. So it has to do with your circadian rhythms. And with a proper circadian rhythms, blood sugar is lower usually during the day hours than the night hours with the same types of food. And during this time where you had breakfast before 9 in the morning, it improved body weight, it improved blood pressure, it improved endothelial dysfunction, which is the lining of our blood vessels is called the endothelium, as well as decreased overall atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries, or clogging, we may say, of the arteries. In this study, it was done on 18 people who were normal weight and 18 people who had obesity and who also had diabetes. And they had 2 days where they came into the lab. The first day they ate breakfast and lunch and then did a bunch of blood work. And the second time they ate just lunch and did the same blood work. On both days they did blood work to look at their circadian postprandial gene expression, to look at their blood sugar or glucose, to look at insulin, what we call involved with diabetes or not having enough insulin with diabetes, something called IGF-1 or insulin-like growth factor 1, and something called DPP-4 activity. On days where they had breakfast, this meal triggered the proper gene expression for circadian rhythm and glucose throughout the day, leading to improved blood sugar throughout the day. On days with no breakfast, this gene was not regulated, leading to higher necessary insulin levels as far as a worse glycemic response. This suggests that skipping breakfast leads to weight gain, even without the incidence of overeating later in the day. At the end of the day, we should not base breakfast or not breakfast on a small study of 36 people. But yet after practicing weight loss medicine for the last 14 years, I can tell you more people than not who come to see me for their first visit, when I do a diet history, were not already having breakfast. And when I put them on a diet, they do begin to lose weight. That being said, it's likely not just eating breakfast that will take you down 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds or more. It does take a whole comprehensive plan. But really at the end, maybe mom was right when she told us breakfast is the most important meal of the day. At that point, she just didn't have a study to back it up. Thanks for being here today. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.